Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most unique and surprisingly effective collaborations in the Chateau YouTube world, Dan from Escape to Rural France, and Stephanie Jarvis from the Château Diaries. It's about why their partnership worked from a content creation perspective, and what we can learn from it. Also, if you like thoughtful commentary on creators, Chateau life, and the behind-the-scenes world of YouTube, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, check out the new merch line linked below. It's cozy, tea-ready, and comes at a reasonable price. One of the first reasons the Dan-Stephanie partnership worked is that they had what I call audience chemistry. They were very different, but those differences enhanced each other's presence. Dan brought this grounded, practical energy. He's got a dry sense of humor, a methodical way of explaining things, and he's not overly polished, which, on YouTube, often feels more trustworthy. He focused on tangible work, gardening, masonry, roofing, and serious restoration projects. Stephanie, on the other hand, brought theatrical flair and a sense of fantasy. She narrates life at Château de Lalande with a combination of warmth, excitement, and storytelling skill. Where Dan is direct, she's expressive. Where Dan is quiet, she's charismatic. This contrast didn't create conflict, it created balance. For viewers, it felt like watching two sides of the same dream, the idealistic vision and the hard work behind it. The second major reason this partnership worked so well is their complementary skills. YouTube collaborations often fail when both parties are trying to do the same thing, or step on each other's toes. That wasn't the case here. Dan is a skilled gardener and hands-on renovator. He showed up in videos doing actual physical labor, digging trenches, building structures, planting entire gardens, and sometimes improvising solutions with limited materials. His presence brought a sense of progress and grit. Stephanie, by contrast, excelled in content structure and audience engagement. She's a performer and editor, with a clear sense of narrative flow. She curated the storyline, connected with fans, and elevated mundane moments with music, editing, and warmth. Together, they formed a YouTube ecosystem. Dan created the content through action, and Stephanie packaged it into something highly watchable. It was a perfect example of a production partnership, one generating raw material, the other refining it. Third, their partnership worked because there was a strong sense of defined roles. There wasn't a need to blend identities or merge channels. Dan eventually started his own channel. Dan had his own project, Escape to Rural France, and Stephanie had her own at Lalande. While Dan appeared regularly in the Château Diaries, he wasn't absorbed into it. That allowed him to maintain his own tone, pacing, and creative freedom. He wasn't there to play a character, he was there to work, and his work just happened to be compelling to watch. Similarly, Stephanie didn't try to make Dan conform to the theatrical tone of the rest of the diaries. She let his grounded presence contrast her own style, and that made things feel more real. The contrasting personalities provided much entertainment and viewers loved the dynamic. In fact, much of Dawn's beginnings were a result of people who watched the Château Diaries shifting over to watch his videos as well. This respectful distance actually helped the collaboration thrive. There was space for individualism. And on YouTube, where so many creators burn out trying to be everything at once, that kind of structure is rare and refreshing. Another thing that made their collaboration so effective was how it made viewers feel involved. Because Dan's work was physical and visual, it gave people a concrete sense of progress. Watching him dig a trench or plant a hedge gave fans a behind-the-scenes look at what really goes into maintaining a chateau. Paired with Stephanie's storytelling, this created a powerful feedback loop. She would build anticipation, Dan would deliver execution, and the audience got to witness transformation over time. That made people feel like they were part of the restoration effort, emotionally invested in both the dream and the delivery. His work on Château de Lalande is still evident to this day. And again, when Dan launched his own channel, Many of those same viewers followed him because they already felt that connection. Let's be honest, YouTube is full of collabs that fall apart because of drama. What made this partnership stand out was how drama-free it was. There was no performative bickering, no veiled tension, no forced storylines. It was the harmonious relationship and furthered viewers' interest in the channel that created trust. Trust that the work being shown was real. Trust that no one was playing a role. And trust that their interactions were about the project, not for clicks. Dan was consistent in his work ethic and tone. Stephanie was consistent in her editing and creativity. That kind of dependability builds viewer loyalty, especially in the niche Chateau world where subscribers genuinely care about long-term progress. Every partnership has a season, and while the reasons behind the change in their collaboration aren't fully public, the impact remains clear. Their time working together gave both of them exposure, growth, and a loyal audience. They still collaborate on occasion. Both seem enveloped in the work on their respective channels. Dan grew his own brand and eventually took on a chateau of his own. Stephanie continued expanding her diaries with new collaborators. And both continued on paths that reflected their unique strengths. It's important to note that parting ways doesn't mean failure, especially in the creative world. Sometimes, the most successful partnerships are those that serve their purpose, grow both people, and then evolve into something new. So, why did the Dan and Stephanie partnership work? Because it was practical, respectful, complementary, and above all, real. In a digital space filled with performance and polish, their work reminded viewers that sometimes, the best content is simply two people showing up, bringing their strengths, and staying in their lanes. It was real and raw. Their humor played of each other in a way that was both comical and intriguing. Although they have decided to mostly spend their time working on their own chateaus now, they still make an effort to go on to other channels and to see one another when it is most convenient. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what other chateau dynamics you want to see unpacked or if you have any certain type of videos that really resonate with you. And don't forget, the new merch is out now. Whether you're Team Lavender Field or Team Power Tools, there's something for everyone. You can also consider becoming a member of the channel for exclusive access to videos and to support the work of our team. You can also give the video a super like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.